A demon just came out of me.
Ready. Okay, well, should we cheers with our little drinks today? Cheers. What you know about a iced chai with 2 pumps of caramel?
Nothing. You know nothing.
That's Hannah's drink.
It's so good. It's so good. And everyone clowns me for doing caramel with chai, which I don't get it because I feel like they go perfectly.
I can't describe, like, it tastes like cinnamon toast crunch milk or something. Like, it's just so good.
Well, welcome back to What Are the Chances podcast.
Welcome back. I'm Sarah.
I'm Hannah. On this episode, we're going to be talking about
all things clients and clientele. Our 2 people asked us, 2 listeners asked us.
Our 2 fans.
Our 2 fans. Talk about, like, what it's like actually performing services on a real human.
Yeah.
And how scary it can be at first and all of that. So I will say taking clients in school did definitely help prepare me for taking clients. And it's really, like, I will say the school clients are so much less, at least for esthetician. I can't speak on the hair because I would fuck someone up. But
we all
that is like, it really was not stressful at all. Like, I never had a mean person. There was people who did in my class, and it's like, you just do their facial and, like, keep it moving. Like, it's really not anything serious. Like, it's just, that's what you're there to do.
It's so different because, like, I would just be nervous, like, and, like, with facials, I feel like when your eyes are closed, like, you're not, like, worried about, like, they would be sitting in a mirror looking at you through the mirror, like, what are you doing now? Are you doing that? Do you know how to do that? Should you ask the teacher? And you're just like...
Yeah, that's scary. I would say for esthetician, it's pretty chill.
Yeah.
But then also,
kind of, like, relaxed,
I was more used to that, like, their eyes being closed and all of that, that when I switched over to, like, waxing and having to keep a conversation and all
that's hard.
That was different.
Yeah.
So
it's like there's so many skills that goes into actually being able to take a client. Like, you think, like, okay, do I know, like, what is the service that they're doing and do I know how to do that? Like, it's not just that. Like, you're in charge of making them feel comfortable. You're in charge of keeping conversation. You're in charge of remembering them, remembering what you guys talked about last time, remembering how they like their service done. There's so many people who are so particular on just random things that, like, you have to remember, and that's how you build and keep your clientele. Like, if you, every time you see someone who comes to you 4 weeks, if you're just like, what do you do again? Like, what are we, do you like this? Are we doing this again? Like, they're not going to feel comfortable with you. Like, you have to, like, God, I just feel like you have to fake it till you make it.
So I did models for a while. Most of the time, like, you probably will start out doing just, like, friends and, like, models, and, like, you'll start out. That's another thing I think people, I mean, everywhere is different, but at least I started out doing, like, half priced. I did free models. Like, you're gonna do a lot of things for free.
Do as many free models as you can.
Yes,
like, just get the skill down.
Practice, and you don't feel bad after if you fuck up because they didn't pay anything. But yeah, I think that was, like, your biggest advice to me was fake it till you make it, because it's so true. Like, they can sense your fear. These clients are like cats. They can tell
sense
when you're nervous, when you're scared, and like, if you're not confident. First of all, if you're not confident, you're not gonna do a good job, because there were so many times where with waxing specifically, I would go into it and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing and I suck and this and that, and I would make so many mistakes, and I would go into it like, this
already
sucks,
stressed.
and like I'm stressed and I don't know what to do, and like it would just be a shitty time for everyone, because like they could tell I was stressed, and I'm like,
now
I just don't know where to go
like,
from
they're
here.
getting waxed and they're like, this is gonna hurt.
But if I was like, if I made a mistake and I was like just keeping it moving, like, haha, like, don't even tell them, just keep going, acting like nothing happened. That's the difference in being like a good service provider, is like thinking on your toes and problem solving quickly. And like, I think Ellie is like really trains us to do that too, is like problem solving quick. And I think we all are really good at that now. But at first it's scary because you're just overthinking. And like, there were so many times where I was like, I just want to ask Hannah that, like, I just don't even know what to do from here. And it's like,
it's so
you
scary.
try your best, but like, you just have to, like, I think like the number one thing is to just be honest with the client.
Seriously.
Like,
they love that and they get it.
Yeah,
like,
that's what
everyone's
you told me
human.
too. Yeah. Like, if you fuck up, if you don't know what you're doing, like maybe don't tell them you don't know what you're doing, but tell them like this might be a little bit longer than you're used to. Like I would tell people that too. I would be like, I'm so sorry, but since I'm just learning Brazilians, like it's not going to be a 15-minute Brazilian. Like I would never say like this is going to be shitty, but I would just be like, just give me grace. Like I'm learning.
And they
like,
love that.
Yeah,
and they're
they
just
do.
like, oh my God, I got you. Like it's fine. I feel like for me, it was a little, it's weird because I started off doing hair. So like that was when I learned how to be a service provider. Like you have to learn how to be a service provider. And it's so funny because I am the most like, I'm not that outgoing. Like I feel like a lot of people think that I am. But like you're like, or maybe I just don't know
like,
myself.
You never
maybe
shut the fuck up.
I know you're like, I like when I'm out in like a public setting, you're like I'm not
extroverted introvert. Yes, that's how I am too.
I'm not gonna be like the main. Like, I'm not the star of the show. Like, I'm not, like, I'm keeping, I'm chill. I'm having fun still. But, like, I'm not going to be like, unless I'm with people who I'm really, really comfortable with. Like,
that's exactly how I am too.
So, it was really hard for me to just, like, meet strangers and have to be the one to, like, lead conversation, lead everything. It's exhausting. It really is.
So exhausting.
And that's kind of, like, what we wanted to touch on. Like, how do you, as a person, take so many different personalities throughout the day? Like, okay, say I have a full book from 9 to 4 that day. That's like
and I feel like
10 or more people.
That's what's exhausting is not having, obviously your social battery is going to be drained from talking to people all day, but like I love talking to people. I think what's exhausting is having to flip back and forth between different
emotions.
Like you can be like so happy giggly with one person and then your next client comes in and they're like, my dog died, and you're like, oh, like
it's crazy.
It
and like
is.
You have to like know how to not take any of that home with you, because that would affect me. Like I would be like you grow so close to your clients, and this is one of my favorite things about this job is like you grow so close to them. You go through everything together. Like going through death, you're going through marriage, divorce. Like you see these clients through every phase of their life, and like you grow attachments to that. And you meet some like really good people, and it's hard to go home and not let it affect you. And it's hard to go into the next, like, okay, so your one client just left, their dog just died, you just got done crying because their husband cheated on them. And then you're going into the next appointment who's getting married in a week, who's getting their spray tan to get married, and you're like, oh God, it's so mentally it's and like it's a roller coaster. It's an emotional roller coaster, but it's like it's why I love what we do.
It's so much
It's
fun.
just you have to learn how to regulate that. I will go home and straight up not speak for hours, and Aunt will be like, hello, and I'm like, sorry, I just don't have it in me. Like I just did so much. Like I just can't. So it's really hard to like learn how to be a service provider on top of learning how to do your services good, on top of knowing how to balance everyone coming in that day, balance eating that day. Like you still have to take care of yourself. You still have to take care of whatever's going on at home. Like it's just crazy. It's worth it, but it's like, it's freaking scary.
Yeah. I think that's a skill you have to possess going. Like if you know right now, if you're thinking about going to school and you know right now, like I would not be able to talk to people and just literally, so we talk about all the time, like I will literally tell Hannah's stories to my clients. Like,
wait, it's so funny because our ceilings are open, so like now we can hear what people are saying, and it's like if you have a good group of people to work with, dude, that's the best, because if you're working in a catty place where you probably will for a like at one point in your life, it's going to be a situation where like it's hard to talk to like what's hard for me is like I can have a conversation with my client, but when I know that there's like, for example, like when I did hair, like you're next to another group of people who are having a whole different conversation, so like it's that's like like they're gonna know that like 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 you have to keep conversation. You're gonna fabricate some things here and there and be like, oh, this happened when it didn't really happen that dramatically. You're just trying to keep a conversation going. But it's funny here because we don't have ceilings, so like we will hear other people's conversations. We have ceilings. Sorry.
We just have half walls.
Sorry, we have half walls. I'm like, we wax outside.
There's no roof. That's what's been going on here. There's no roof over our heads any longer. They're gonna be like, no ceilings.
We're like, okay, don't go to that. Don't go to that. We have like half walls, so we can hear, and like I will literally talk about the same story over and over and over and over and over again, to the point where like we'll all just be like, okay, I can't hear you say that again. Like, I don't respectfully, like, shut the fuck up. Or, like, I will hear you tell your client a story.
All day.
And then I will tell the same story as if I'm telling it.
Literally.
And then I'm like, wait, Sarah can hear me literally telling her story.
I think I literally
it's so funny.
It is so funny. Thank God we're all close, because there was literally one time where Courtney, that was in our last episode, you talk about how she works at Disney all the time. I think I literally one day was like, yeah, my friend works at Disney. Like, you just say whatever.
You say whatever, and then you have to go with it.
Yeah.
Wait, there's been times where I've gotten so deep in, like,
a lie.
Yeah, like, it's a lie, but it's like not like it's not a malicious lie.
Yeah,
it's just like
it's just trying
or
to
like they
relate.
mishear you and like you just keep going with it. That's the worst. Like I'll just be like, yeah, and then I'm like, they think I just lived in Cabo for like 6 months and I'm here on like a fucking visa or something, and I have to go with that story, and I'm like, I don't. Wait, it's just crazy.
I need to tell an embarrassing story about myself that happened yesterday.
Yesterday, this is fresh. Are you ready?
Yesterday.
Okay. Are we mentally like?
No, it's funny, but it was just like one of those moments where I literally left my body because I was so embarrassed. I was like, this is just my shell walking. It was like I never had her before. Never had her before.
Okay,
she was so nice though. But so it was a brow and a lip wax, and for some fucking reason, whenever I have a brow and a lip wax, I do the brows and I always forget to do the fucking lip wax. So I slay her brows. I'm like lowering her down, and I'm like, okay, like and she's not getting up, and I'm like, that's weird. She's not fucking getting up, and I literally, because with like Brazilians, like we'll leave the room and be like, we'll meet you up front so they can get changed. But with brows, like they'll just get up and like we walk out together, and she was just like. And I was like, lowering to she was not like getting up, like, and I'm like, okay, this is weird, but maybe she just needs a minute. And I like start walking out. I'm like, I'll just get you checked out up front. And she was like, oh, like my lip wax. And I was like, I literally had to walk back in the door.
You were out of the room already?
I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I do this all the time. And I literally had to lift her back up.
No, like
I
it's
literally
humbling.
put all my supplies in the freaking Barbicide. I had to reset up. I said, I'm so annoyed. I said, this is so annoying, and she was dying, and I was like, I'm so fucking annoying. But the way I had to walk back through the door frame and be like, I'm so sorry, and she's just still like this on the bed, and I'm like, oh my god,
no.
But like, you just have to like laugh about.
Yeah,
like I always laugh about
so many embarrassing.
I think that's my
happen.
approach. Like Ellie says all the time, like her clients that she attracts, and like her approach is just a calm, relaxing.
Yeah, they are. Sometimes they're just silent. I'm like,
and then me, I'm like, oh, you're silent. I'm like, so what's your biggest fear?
No, sometimes me and my clients, like, I'm like, oh God, like keep it down because I don't know who's next door. Like Ellie's clients are trying to get a lash lift and relax
and sleep,
and we're over here talking about like when the last time they had sex was and if they can have sex again after this Brazilian. Like it's just so different, so different. It's such a different vibe.
But like with waxing, I feel it is fun. You have to like be funny and make it lighthearted. Otherwise, like they're gonna be uncomfortable. Like you have to just make it silly and make it seem like
I'm trying to think
they're
of
not
like
getting a Brazilian wax.
Oh wait, I can tell my story about the client who found me after like all those years.
Yeah.
Okay, so client story. I'm trying to think of embarrassing ones, but this is not an embarrassing one. This is actually like a really like heartfelt story. I told this on my Instagram already, but long story short, I used to work at my old waxing studio or place or whatever, and when I left, I wasn't allowed to contact your clients, which is actually a really common occurrence. If you leave, usually like a corporate place, they will, when you sign a bunch of contracts saying that like those clients are technically their clients, which sucks because like you
make sure you look for that non-compete before you work somewhere.
So I signed that contract, and then when I left, I wasn't allowed to contact any of my clients unless they've reached out to me. Like if they kept up with me and reached out to me like on social media and stuff, then that's a different story. But I wasn't allowed to contact them, so I didn't. And I had one girl who followed me from like day one, and then recently, like I started working here 2 years ago. So it's been a while, and then I took a break like in between this place and the last place. So it's been a while since I was at my old place, like 2020, 2021. So I was at work one day, and I remember you guys were doing all the phone conversations, or Carly, I don't know if you were, but basically someone's husband had been calling trying to make an appointment for their wife, which is very like common.
Yeah.
And like I don't know if she wouldn't go in anyone else's book or if she kept like changing the times to try to be with me, but like I was busy that week, so it was hard for us to like match up. And basically she was saying like, I want to see Hannah. And I was just like, okay, I don't know this name. Like I kind of like thought I knew the name, but it wasn't like, it didn't click to me right away. Like, oh, that's from 30 years, whatever.
Which is funny because she has a cool name.
It's just such a cool name.
Yeah. You'd think you'd
and that's why
remember.
I was like, wait, do I remember that name?
Yeah.
Or do I just think it's a cool name? And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I just go about my day. I don't really think anything of it. I'm not in contact with her at all. I don't talk to them over the phone at all. I just hear from the girls like, dude, this girl really wants you and she can't get you. And I'm like, what? So then finally, it was like the night before, I think it was like a Friday or something, and I get a cancellation in my book and immediately get another person like replacing that appointment. And I was like, damn, like that was quick. Like, all right.
She was on it.
Yeah, she was on it. Like had to be looking every day.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. Don't think anything of it. I'm like, all right, a new Brazilian client, like sounds great, in the middle of my day. So like it wasn't even like I was thinking about it really. And then so this client walks in and I'm like, dude, like she looks so familiar, but she looks like my best friend's aunt who is from California. So I was like, why does she look like, she just looked like they just had the same look, same figure, like just like very free, like cool, like whatever. And I was just like, dude, I feel like I know this girl, but like this woman, I'm like, I'm not going to say anything though. So then she comes in and we start our conversation as usual. She doesn't say anything at first, and we're just going into it.
Which is so funny because she's on a manhunt.
Yeah, she's on a manhunt to find me.
You think she'd open with that?
So we get in there, I give her a minute, I come back in, and we're just like talking, just in normal conversation, like getting to know someone. Like your first appointment with this client is like, oh, like where are you from? Where are you from? Like that kind of thing. So we're going through it, and she was like, we started talking about like, I was like, oh yeah, the last place that I worked. And she was like, oh, like mine was the last place you worked. So cool, calm and collected. Still didn't make me think for a second that she was
she's
like
bursting on the inside.
She was like, where did you work? Where did you work? And I was like, oh, blah, 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 said it. And she was like, oh my God. She was like, I have been looking for you for so long. I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, you used to wax me back there. I was your client. At your old place. And I was like, dude, no wonder why you look so familiar. Yeah. And then because she was saying she's from San Diego, and she said that.
I was gonna say,
and I was like,
is it your friend's aunt?
No. Okay. I like, it's not at all, but that's who reminded me of. That's why I didn't think that she had ever been a client before, because I was like, that's who I'm relating it to. It's not, I know for a fact it's not her, but that's who I'm thinking of. So I was like, we were talking about San Diego, and then she was like, you're my client before. And I was like, you got married, I waxed you, like you are my client. The last time I saw you, I was waxing you for your wedding. That was in San Diego. And then I never saw her again, because like in between the time where she was back in California, I had left. And I never saw her again, ever. So
and
then,
also to preface, where you worked is not close to
No. It's like by like Cherry Hill.
Yeah.
It's like far. I mean, not that far. But so she was like, I have been literally looking. She was like, I came back from my wedding. She was like, and then she like started naming facts about me. She was like, you live in Sicklerville. Not like weirdly at all, but she was like, you live in Sicklerville and like whatever. And at that time I wasn't like anywhere near having a baby. So she had no idea that I had a baby, which was so funny. Gosh. So she was like, dude, I've been looking for you for so long. She was like, she was like, she left the other place. She was like, I've been going like everywhere, like just trying to find you. Obviously, like, I knew that I wasn't, like, I didn't have, like, high hopes.
And
she
those
was like,
places can't tell you
where they wouldn't. And she would ask. Yeah. She would say, and they can. They're just, like...
They're annoying about it. Yeah.
So, because they don't want them to leave. They want that client to stay there, which she wasn't saying there anyway, but they wouldn't tell her where I went. And I did not leave on good terms with that place. Yeah. So, it was obvious that they would not tell her where I went. And so then... She was like, I've been looking for you for so long. She was like, I cannot find a waxer that is like you. She was like, you are my favorite person who has ever waxed me. She was like, I can't believe I found you. And then she was like, I was trying to get into your book because I had a feeling that it was you, because you can see my picture online. Yeah. But she was like, I don't know, like it was so long ago. Like she was like, I am just so like stoked that I just found you. And I was like,
that's so funny.
That is so cute. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, that's really cute. And she was like, don't ever leave me again. She was like, here's my personal cell. Like, don't do that ever again. And I was like, oh my God, yes.
Here's my personal cell.
Literally. She was like, I will die if you do that to me again. And she had just moved to Pittman. Like, she just moved to Pittman, so she was like, you're so close to me.
Yeah.
It was just it was crazy. She was like, I am dead that I found you. And I was like, it's clients like that. And I'm
That's
just like,
what makes all the scary thoughts
I love it. Because, like, you'll have people validate the fuck out of you. And you're like, why do you love me? Like, why do you love me so much?
Crazy.
And they're like, no, you're like, I'll
like,
never do anyone else. Yeah. I'm like,
why?
Tell me more about why you love me.
Tell me a little bit.
Yeah.
Another very, very important thing when going into taking your first clients is having a boss and team that will not get mad at you for making mistakes. That was huge for me. I made so many mistakes, and I would be like this, like, you'd think you're gonna get screamed at, and Ellie would be like, it's fine. It's literally fine. Like, it wouldn't even be like, okay, like, maybe, like, don't do that again. It would be like, no, you're probably gonna do it again, so let's just figure out what happened.
I needed you to make the mistakes, and it's not even that you made really that many, like, but like, I needed you to, like, make mistakes.
They were all while you were gone.
You're like, girl, you don't know what I've been through.
Yeah, you don't know.
But
no, that's how you learn. You have to make mistakes, or else you're gonna be stuck.
And that's how I was so good at telling you what not to do, because I've done those things. And
don't be scared to make mistakes, because if you don't, you're gonna be stuck in this little positive bubble, and you're gonna get an ego, and you're gonna be like, oh, this has never happened to me. No, it's gonna happen to you.
And it's gonna humble the fuck out of you.
It's gonna humble you. It's gonna knock you right off your horse.
And I, like, literally, you're gonna make mistakes all of the time.
And it's fine. It's if you have a boss that's yelling at you and making you feel like shit for making mistakes, you need to sprint out of there, because that's not how it should be. You should be making mistakes, because if you don't make them, then you're not gonna know how to fix them and how to learn from that. And that goes back to being, like, honest with your clients. Like, with Brazilians, you're gonna bruise someone. You're gonna lift skin. Like, you just have to be on and be like, listen, like, I bruised you, I'm sorry. And, like, people respect the fuck out of that. And it's like, And
that's another thing. If you're not passionate about, like, what you're doing, it's really hard to be successful, because then you just start working for the money. And if you're working for the money,
oh my God, you'll never make it.
You're never going to make it. And if you do make it, you're never going to be happy. Like, I genuinely know what can work for people who have ingrowns, for like anything that has to do with waxing. Like, I can confidently say, like, this regimen is what you're going to use. And then when I see them in the next 4-8 weeks, they're like, wow, that worked great. But it's just so hard taking clients. You gotta do so many things at once. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. You gotta read rooms, you gotta read moods, you gotta pick up on what they're going through in their life. You gotta not really apply it to your life at all, because no one wants to hear about your life. They want to come in, they want to talk about theirs, and they want to leave. It's a lot of trauma dumping. I mean, we do Brazilians in 15 minutes. So I'm seeing you for 15 minutes.
And we're getting everything in.
I mean, there's sometimes, like,
the past month of events.
And, like, you got to remember, sometimes I'll write notes, not so much anymore, because, like, I just kind of remember now, but, like, in the beginning of my journey, I would write random things, like baby's birthday party, fucking graduation, like something, so that when they come in, I can say, how was graduation? They're like, oh my gosh, she remembered. That's great. So that's definitely a tip if you're getting into this industry. Notes all the time. But once you get comfortable with taking clients, dude, it's so fun. Like, everyone's just so
I will say, as scared as I was in the beginning, I feel like it didn't take long for me to be, like, confident. And like, I wouldn't say fully confident, but, like, it doesn't take long to get into that, like, routine of, like, talking to people, doing their service. Like, you will, if you're passionate about this industry, like, it will click for you.
I still have times where I'm like, oh God, like, this is the worst Brazilian ever.
God,
like,
all the time.
And that doesn't mean that you're not a good service provider. It just means that it's just a freaking tough day.
We say it all. Oh my God, my voice
the
is going away. You transferred him to me. Anyway. We will say all the time, like, that we're like, oh, is it Hell Week? And you're like, it's Hell Week. And it will be, like, a straight week of just nothing going right. Like, everything is going wrong. And it's
that's another thing. I fear that that's another thing. Like, the fluctuation of clients, week by week is crazy. I mean, last week I was booked from the time I walked in to, like, past the time I was supposed to leave. This week, I've had, like, a few clients a day. Like, it's just, like, if you're not someone who can work like that, it's not going to work for you.
Literally, Monday, I am back-to-back booked from 2 to 8. Tuesday, I have nobody.
So, it was like,
and it will be like that, and it doesn't mean that you suck
Yeah.
or but
Us trying to convince us right now. We're
like me trying to validate myself that I'll be fine. I'm like, I'll be able to pay my loans this month. It's no worries.
God, yeah.
But no, you have to like swallow that pill. And also don't compare yourself to people because half the time, we'll say it right now, we'll post like limited spots. We have a wide open book. Do not compare yourself to people.
You know what
on
else
social
happened
media.
to me too, which was really, really nice for me to hear. So I follow a waxing studio out in Tampa. She would post every day, and she had employees. It was literally like this, just in Tampa.
Yeah.
And she would post like her schedule for the day, and it would be like this long, and it would be like Brazilian, full leg, full body Brazilian, just like all day long. And I like ended up messaging her, and I was like, I need to take tips from you. Like, how do you get your book to be this full on a daily basis? Like, I need to know. And she was like, this is not just my book. She was like, I post everyone who's coming in today for every service provider.
Oh, wow.
She was like, this is not just me. Like, my employees are taking them.
I'm so happy she told you that.
I know, me too. And like, it's so cool because in my head, I'm looking at that thinking like, God, I really suck. Like, I had 3 Brazilians today. She's over here. You know, like if I had that many, I wouldn't have any problems. Yeah. But then she's over here like, girl, that's not just me. Like, that's everyone in my studio, like for the week. Like that is just like, you know, you have to, you know, social media is fake.
Take a step back and compare. Don't compare yourself. I'm like,
You're like
compare yourself, and if you're not doing what they're doing, you fucking suck. No, but you just do you. Like, do not worry about what anybody else is doing. Do what works best for you, what you need to do, like to be successful, put the work in yourself. Like, there's no reason to compare to anybody else because half the time it's not even what it seems. So you just have to you have to know, like, going into school for this, like, it's not going to take a few months to build a full book. It's going to take years. It's going to take years. Like, for some people, it may take sooner.
Like,
for
I
some
don't
people,
think it ever ends.
I don't think it does
I don't think it ever ends.
But you have to, like, accept that, like, it's not just gonna come
so hard
to you with no work, and it's gonna take a while. Not gonna start off with a full book.
Another thing that it kind of like changed my perspective on things is like how I view like what success means to me. Like, I am very aware that people my age are out there making a lot more money, doing corporate jobs, having benefits, having PTO, having all the things. Like, we don't get any of that here, but like we get so much more that I value, and I understand that people wouldn't value the same things, and that's fine. But like, I guess especially after having my baby, like, success to me is like I can work. I mean, like, I don't even know if I added my hours together for a week, 20 maybe. I don't even think that much, and like.
And you're still making,
and I make, I make,
like,
I mean,
40-hour
literally, me and my
week.
boyfriend, sorry, Aunt, love you. We just got paid. We get paid on the same day, and his paycheck was like $80 more than mine. And
he's hard laboring.
He literally said that yesterday. He's like, and I'm out there doing the most. And I'm like, success to me is being able to still obviously be realistic about this is a job for me, and like I need it to live, but also like I want to have the freedom to be home with my baby. I want to have like the freedom to wake up and have my breakfast and have like my life routine. Like, if you're thinking about like pros and cons of going into the industry, like, no one asks you, like, what do you think success is? Like, do you think that it's making six figures off the bat? Because if it is, this is not the industry for you. Or do you like the fact,
it's going to bring you all this money?
Because it's literally not. It will eventually, but it's not going to right away. And like, do you want to have your kids in daycare Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, every single day, every single week of their life? Or do you want to have time to be home with your kids? Like, one isn't better than the other. It's just, what do you prefer? And like, that's something that I've had to realize. Like, maybe there's weeks where I don't have as many clients and my paycheck is not that much, but like, I'll take that because I was able to take Griffin to his doctors and I was able to take him to the fucking playground. Like, I just value that so much. And I feel like once you learn that, it gets so much easier for you. Like so much easier.
I was just saying to Todd, I was like, for me, what that looks like right now, like it will be,
and it changes exactly.
Yeah, with the kids, like that's why we both are in industries where we can pick our own hours and work whenever we want. But for me, it's like I was just telling him, I'm like, when I come here, like I just feel like I'm hanging out with my friends.
Literally,
like, it never feels like work to me. And that goes in, like, you have to find the right place, the right team,
and
all
it's gonna
that.
take time.
Again, like for me, it didn't take time. I just got lucky.
You were like, I was born here.
I was born here, but for me, it doesn't feel like work. We're like, we both like traveling. Like we want to travel, and every time we travel, every time I'm like, wait, I got to make sure I can take off work, and I'm like, wait, I'm going for work. Like, it's just so crazy. Fun. Like all of the things that like I would maybe want to do in like my personal life, I'm doing for and at work. Like I always wanted to start a podcast. I always like I love streetwear and apparel. Like I'm so excited for that. Traveling, like I love New York. I love going there. Like we just do so many things that like it's like I maybe wouldn't even have time to do just in my personal life. And now I like I get to do it for work. And it's such a con. My boss. Like it's not like we're doing it's just so like crazy that you're doing the things that you want like for work. And like even when we travel for work and stuff, like it just feels like
it's so fun.
Like hanging out.
And like when you find people who have the same goals as you, it's not hard to like get along. And that is something, I feel like we're going on tangents now, but I like it. I don't care. I think that that's something that we all learned, the four of us, very recently. Like we just got done learning. Like we learned this lesson like last week. We all have the same ambitions, the same goals, the same like lifestyle. We have the same lifestyle. Yes. So like we can now like get to a point where we can hang out and we can talk about other things. Like it's just, we are all in such a good, and I think that's why clients love us, because they can tell that like it is like a family. Like we are a family. Like we're not no one's like
all of our clients feel comfortable going to any of us.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, that's
literally
too.
I just love that. I just think that you need to really find the clientele and the work environment that fits your vibe. And I feel like we all are the same person in different fonts. Like literally. And so are our clients. Our clients are all like us too.
Yeah,
like
they are.
It's just when we're all together, it's just like such a good time.
Yeah. And as much as we say fake it till you make it, we mean like confidence wise, skill level. Like if you're just starting out,
because
like,
eventually you're not going to be faking it anymore. And that's what I learned. Like I faked it so much that now I'm not faking it anymore.
Yeah, like go into it like, oh, okay, this is going to be the best haircut I ever do. This is going to be the best wax I've ever done. Like go into it like that, because if you go into it like, I'm scared, I don't know what I'm doing, like I'm really scared, like no, they're going to sense that, and then they're not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be,
and they are not going to rebook. You're not catching that rebook at the end.
Yeah, so
it's so fun. Who's your favorite client? I'm just kidding.
All right, so I think that kind of wraps everything up. So to end, let's do, what are 3 words that you use to describe yourself as a service provider?
Oh my gosh, that's hard. She did not prep me with this question. Oh my God, what are yours?
I don't know. I don't know what mine are. I'm thinking, that's why I asked you first.
3 words to describe myself as a service provider. The first word that I would say, which is crazy because I would never describe myself as this, but confident. I'm very confident in what I do and what I recommend and the results that they're going to get. Chill. I'm very chill. I'm not going to like bombard you to rebook. I'm not going to bombard you to buy product. I'm not going to bombard you to do anything, really. Like everyone who's comes in my book is a decision that they made. Like you never have people who are just like kind of like you're just like, God, I didn't even want to buy that. Like I just felt like I had no choice. I feel like I am very much like laid back. Like if you buy it, it's because you actually wanted it and you did not feel weird that I was making you buy it. God, a third one.
I don't even know mine. I still don't know mine. I'm sitting here
what
like,
did
what
I say?
am I
Confident,
say?
chill.
I feel like you're very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I like to educate people on what they're actually doing. If you come to me first And I think I trained you on this too. Like if it's your first time, I'm telling you how that hair works. Like you're hearing about the 3 stages of growth. You're hearing why they do it. You're hearing why you get the results of waxing versus shaving. Like you're getting the spiel, which probably most people don't even care or want. They just want their Badoosie waxed. But for me, you're getting that because I need you to know like what's going on. Okay, so my 3 were confident, chill, and Sarah said that I am knowledgeable.
Okay. So let me think. I've
It's
had all
so
this
hard.
time.
I'm thinking for you.
Whatever a word is for like, I guess comforting.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
I feel like I'm really good at making people like non-judgmental, comforting, whatever synonyms apply to that.
That's a good.
I would say determined.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm
watching you struggle to say nice things about yourself right now.
I know.
You're like
I don't know.
cringing on the inside.
I feel like I am like if I make a mistake, like I'm good at like fixing it right away.
Yeah.
Like there's not like it's not taking me like 10 million times to try to fix it, which is fine. But like I like getting to the root of the problem. I'm not afraid to like ask you guys like what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like I like being humbled by you guys and being like knowing the source of my issues. So I would say like determined to like be better and like get this service down perfect.
Like and like yeah, I agree. I see that in you a lot. For me, I think I would describe you as like a social like butterfly as a service provider, which like is good for all the reasons that you just said. Like you make people feel so comfortable because it's just like they're just getting waxed. Like, you know, they don't even realize that they're getting waxed because like I could just hear like your friend, you have so many friends and so many like experiences that you could just talk about whatever, whenever.
I'm like getting nauseous. I'm like saying these nice things about myself.
No, seriously, like you just can keep conversation very well. Like there's never an awkward moment in your room.
I don't
like,
let there be.
No,
I'm like,
exactly.
So what's your biggest trauma?
Yeah, like you're not scared to like open up to people or get them to open up to you, and people feel very comfortable like going there with you. Where some people are just like very surface level. I feel like you can get through to other people, but in like just like a normal way, not like a weird way.
No, it's weird. I do get a lot of like I don't know why, but I feel like I can just tell you my whole life, and I'm like I don't know what it is about me either, but like I've gotten that my whole like I'll be like 5 and they're like, do you want to know like what's going on with me? I'm like tell me all about it. Like I don't know, I've just always given that vibe off. I don't know what it is.
Like people feel like very safe around you.
Yes.
Which is a good thing when their Badoosie's out. And
so that was fun.
That was so fun.
Thank you to our 2 fans who gave us this topic. And for everyone who's watched, we actually have been getting like pretty good response. I know. So thank you so much, everyone.
I feel like we have 2 different groups of people who like watching us. It's estheticians, obviously, and then it's just like normal
the girls and the gays.
Yeah, like girls who just like wanna. I had my one client who said, we love you. Yeah. We had my one client who said, she was starting 75 hard, and she was like, I listen to you guys when I run. And I was like, what? I love it. I love it so much. I just couldn't. Sometimes Aunt will listen to it in the shower, and I'll hear my own voice, and I'm like,
yeah, I actually hate editing it. I hate listening.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. She puts her Badoosie into editing. I literally haven't edited a single thing.
Though.
Yeah,
I'm really fast at it.
She is. She'll like today it's Saturday. This has to be out by Sunday, and it will be. It will be.
It'll be done tonight.
Yeah, it'll be done tonight.
Yeah, we had some delays this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us DM us on Instagram. What are the chances pod? If
what you want to hear about.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
we
matter.
Need some topics.
Whatever.
Give us some topics. Yeah. Anything. But yeah, so next week will be more of a lifestyle podcast.
Back to the girls and the gays.
Yep. Like we said, going back and forth. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, right. We love you.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye.